Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and in this video we're taking a look at a couple of things, but before we do, I want to talk a little bit about the severe weather outbreak that happened last night. It thankfully was not nearly as bad as I feared it might be. So thankfully Mother Nature was they were very generous to us. They saw that we've had a bad month, so they decided to give us let it slide for one time. So, with that being said, let's get right into this video. But before we do, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications for more videos like these. It really motivates me to make more videos like these to inform subscribers like you. Now, with that being said, let's get right into this SBC outlook for tomorrow. Today is December 30th, 2021. This outlook is for New Year's Eve. Now, before I really get into this is actually part of a larger system that's going to happen. This is basically the outlook we have right here, according to AccuWeather. This AccuWeather right here, massive storm to spread disruptive snow from Denver to Detroit on New Year's weekend, which we'll get to that part later in the video. But this is all part of one system that's going to bring bring quite a lot of severe weather down the deep South Tennessee Valley and everything. And it's also going to bring a lot of snow north into Chicago, Denver, Michigan, parts of Wisconsin, the Wow area, Kenosha, Milwaukee, Iowa. There's a huge amount of snow that's anticipated. The latest GFS model indicates maybe a foot and a half to 2 feet in parts of Iowa and everything, which that would be interesting if that happened. But nevertheless, let's talk about the severe weather outlook first. Then we'll get into the article. So this is for New Year's Eve. Severe weather is possible from North Texas to the Tennessee Valley New Year's Eve into the early morning hours on Saturday. Storms will be capable of all severe weather hazards, including large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes. Now, let's go ahead and all these risks are basically they all meet the criteria for slight risk. This is the tornado risk right here, 5% chance within 25 miles of a point right here in parts of Arkansas, Tennessee, right there. 2% throughout the rest of it. Parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, the Missouri Boot Heel, extreme southern Illinois, most of Kentucky, most of Tennessee, and parts of northern Mississippi and Alabama. Now this is the wind threat right here. 15% from eastern Oklahoma all the way to Kentucky and Tennessee, as you can see right here. And hail, kind of the same situation as the tornado threat from extreme southeastern Oklahoma all the way to Tennessee. So, yeah, this is the day 2 outlook for tomorrow. So, we'll go ahead and read the synopsis. A strong upper-level trough is currently situated off the southern California coast and will continue to move slowly to the southwest today and tomorrow. Another upper-level trough is in the process of developing off the Pacific Northwest coast. This feature is forecast to dig southward and fairly rapidly on Friday. The two troughs will eventually phase over the southwest into the southern plains. Models have continued to slow the progression of the system, meaning severe weather potential is expected to increase primarily after midnight. Basically, what this means in English is those two lows, they're going to merge into a giant low. And two lows are going to merge into a giant low, and that's what's going to start this big storm that's going to happen on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And that's why there's so much snow that's anticipated right here. You can see it's also going to bring in a cold front. It's going to be much colder in parts of Texas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Illinois, Arkansas, that area right there. Snowfall amounts according to AccuWeather from eastern Iowa to parts of Illinois and Wisconsin is 12 to 18 inches. GFS has it a little bit higher, up to maybe 18 to 24 inches, with 5 to 8 inches in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. But with that being said, yeah, this storm will continue And as you can see, the same potent winter storm will also be responsible for a major outbreak of severe weather that will include tornadoes for parts of Texas to the Ohio and Tennessee valleys into from Friday night to Saturday. So yeah, we're talking about that right here, right here. So this has met the criteria. So those two lows are going to merge into one big one. And we'll go ahead and get right into this. At the surface, the strong trough will promote Lee cyclone genesis into the in the high central plains. The surface low will then shift southward through the day until it ejects eastward, along with the upper trough late in the period. A broad region of strong 850 to 500 millibar winds will exist from Texas to parts of the Tennessee Valley, Arkansas to western Kentucky. This is the main thing where I'm watching, and we'll go ahead and talk about this. While mid-level height falls will be the greatest towards Saturday morning, a zone of warm advection is expected to foster storm development ahead of the southward moving cold front. ML Cape values may only reach 750 to 100 joules per kilogram, which that's a lot better than 1500 joules per kilogram we saw the other day. So 750 to 1000. That's after you reach 1000 joules per kilogram. That's where you should really pay more attention to this. That's where you should really watch out more. 750 to 100 to 1000. It's not ideal, but it's better. But at that point, there's also a lower risk for supercells and tornadoes with that. So there you go. But effective shear of 50 to 70 knots and greater potential for discrete storms away from boundary suggest all severe hazards will be possible. As greater mid-level ascent overspreads the area, storm coverage and interactions will be increase. This will likely limit tornado and hail potential with time. So yeah, the lower the cape is, that's the less severe weather there's going to be. So that's good. That is good right there. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the day 3 outlook, which is still a slight risk, but this is for New Year's Day. This is 2 days out, and with this slight risk, the area it's encompassing, it's rather concerning to me, and I'll explain why after I read the synopsis. Here's the summary. Widespread thunderstorms are expected from Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas to the western Appalachians on New Year's Day. All severe weather hazards are possible, including large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes. This is the probabilistic of severe weather. Right there, 15% within a 25 miles of a point. So that's what caused the slight risk to be issued 2 days out. Here's the synopsis. A potentially tilted upper-level trough will be centered over the Great Basin at the beginning of the period. This trough will maintain its positive tilt as it shifts eastward across the plains and into the Midwest by 12 Zulu or 6 a.m. Central Time Sunday. A negatively tilted mid-level shortwave trough will move quickly from the southern high plains across the Midwest into the Ohio Valley Saturday into the Northeast Sunday morning. A surface reflection of this mid-level shortwave trough is expected to travel along the front with a most likely path from the Ozarks through the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-Atlantic. However, some timing differences do remain, which could shift both the track and the intensity of the surface low. The 0 Zulu or 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Time NAM was slower than the GFS and ECMWF with the ejecting wave, which results in a deeper, more northerly low pressure track. And that basically, in English, this basically means that this is going to continue from New Year's Eve to New Year's Day, and there's quite a bit of uncertainty going on with how strong the storms may get, and for right now, a slight risk is warranted. But here, we'll talk about that. This is the Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, into the western Appalachians. Severe thunderstorms will likely be ongoing in portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley into Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. At the beginning of the period, mid-60s dew points are forecast as far north as the Tennessee-Kentucky border, with upper 60 dew points across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That is always never good, especially in December. We had dew points like this with the outbreak that occurred about a little under 3 weeks ago. So that's generally never a good sign. That's never a good sign. They're expected at where guidance shows at least some breaks in the clouds, which may allow some surface heating. Strong shear will be in place across the entire warm sector. Expect 60 to 80 knots of mid-level flow and a broad low-level jet of 50 plus knots of flow and a peak of 65 to 70 knots in the Tennessee Valley. The most 0 Zulu or 6 p.m. Central Time guidance shows a more back surface flow across the warm sector than what was shown previously due to either a stronger surface low, further south track, or slower timing. However, the flow still remains mostly south to southwest across the warm sector, which results in less low-level turning and in the lowest 1 kilometer of the hydrograph than would be expected for a greater tornado threat. Therefore, differences in the storm intensity will be primarily driven by the storm mode and regions of locally backed surface flow. The mostly boundary parallel surface flow will also be less favorable for discrete supercell development within the warm sector, which that is good, but still an area to watch. The strong shear will favor some supercell structures within linear signets and clusters, but storm mode may remain quite messy. A zone of greater severe weather threat likely exists in the northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, Tennessee region, but too many uncertainties remain at this time to add higher probabilities. These uncertainties include: 1. Questions regarding destabilizations of north of the Tennessee border with Alabama and Mississippi. 2. Timing, intensity, and track differences with the surface low. 3. Potentially messy storm mode. Higher probabilities may be necessary in later outbreaks if these issues resolve and a zone, of course, this had to update as soon as I was almost done. If these issues resolve in a zone of greater threat becomes more clear. So, just for all of that in English, this is going to continue from New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. However, there are a lot of uncertainties 2 days out, which is understandable. They don't know how if it's going to be. They don't know if it's going to how strong it's going to be, and they did weigh in the probabilities of increasing it to an enhanced risk, like they did yesterday. But there's too many uncertainties. There's questions regarding how unstable the atmosphere is, how that the storm may be the severe thunderstorms may be messy, which for severe thunderstorms you do not. If you want to see a severe thunderstorm, you do not want to see that, and just basically the timing and the track and the intensity of the surface low that's going to merge. If it's moving further south, then that's probably going to limit more the severe weather development up in the Kentucky, Tennessee area. But at the same time, it's also going to bring more snow to the air. It's going to bring more snow to parts that may not even see accumulating snow, such as St. Louis and Indianapolis. So this is basically the forecast, right? This is basically the forecast right here. According to AccuWeather, GFS has it a little bit different. Let's see USGFS snow. Yeah, I'm going to see the USGFS snow model. Actually, yeah, I'm just taking a look at this. Okay, that's not helpful at all. Forecast models. Let's see what Tropical Tidbit says, because I haven't been on this website in a while. So, this is forecast time. This is the model run. Okay, we'll actually go back and let's just digest this frame by frame. This is the latest run of the GFS. This is the latest run of the GFS model right here. This starts on December 30. We'll go back to December 31st at 6 a.m. So there it is. There appears to be some weather development by 12 a.m. on the 1st in the south. It'll intensify in parts of Arkansas and Kentucky right there. It'll get really intense. You can see snow's going to start falling across areas right here. St. Louis, if you're living in the St. Louis area, it's the further north and the further west that you are away from St. Louis, you're going to get some more mixed precipitation and everything. Down in Arkansas and Kentucky, these storms are going to get stronger right there. They're going to move. This is by 6 p.m. the first. Chicago starts getting snow and everything. St. Louis starts getting mixed precipitation in areas like that. Areas such as St. Charles, areas such as Edwardsville, areas such as O'Fallon, Missouri, are going to see some more mixed areas and everything. And then that's going to transition completely into snow if you're in the immediate St. Louis metro area. So yeah, the model guidance just does show some snowfall and everything like that. It's going to be over by 6 a.m. on the 2nd. So yeah, I'll be keeping a close eye on this entire system as this continues. So with that being said, that's going to wrap up the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little longer than I usually do, but this is all part of one storm system, and I wanted to tackle this all in one video just to get you guys to understand that this is not what part of a front where it's just a severe weather outbreak and everything. This is all part of a much larger system. What's going to happen is somewhere in the Midwest, there are two lows right now. One is in Baja California. The other, let me check where it is. Yeah, let me check where it is. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's off the coast of California. Another one's in the Pacific Northwest. What those two are going to do, essentially, they're going to merge somewhere in the Midwest, and then it's going to follow another trough right there, and it's going just and start to move up a ridge of the jet stream, and it's going to cause this massive snowstorm and everything that may cause some travel issues if you're visiting your family for New Year's. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I'll have more information on this snow system as more models come in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, everybody.